Good evening and welcome to not another Rangers podcast with myself, Scott, and joined tonight by Ricky and Ross. Now, there's no long-winded intros tonight because Davey's on holiday, so I'll just get straight into it. How you doing, Ricky?
No, very good, mate. Good 3 points yesterday. So, very happy weekend. Great way to finish the weekend. So, all good, mate.
How about yourself, Ross? How are you? No shirt and tie tonight, I see.
Nah, I'm good, mate. Unfortunately, after going for the head of youth development at Ibrox, they've now phoned me up and asked me if I want to be the chairman. So I don't know how that's going. I'm having a bit of a discussion with them now to see they want me to be the chairman, the academy director, and the CEO. That's too much for me, Keir.
I think you could probably do off three, Ross, and just get paid the same amount of money anyway.
Just if you're looking for banter, the club is a joke, to be fair.
Anyway, talk about yesterday, as Ricky says. It was a good 3 points yesterday. I thought we actually played really well. I watched the game back and I thought, when I first watched it, know yourself, you react to things in the park, you're more worried because it's only 1-0, we're losing a goal. But watching it back, because I knew the score, I just watched it as in watching the game to see what we were doing. I thought we done a lot of good things. Yeah, there's things we could improve on, but there was positives there for me. What about you, Ross? What do you think of yesterday's performance? Do you think you see any positives considering where we've been? I know it's been a couple of weeks since the Old Firm game, but I thought there was positive to pick.
The positive is clean sheet. Positive is patterns of play starting to emerge again. I thought we were comfortable, Keir. I didn't think at any point did I think that we were going to lose the game, or I didn't even think we were going to concede, to be honest, which with our defence is highly unusual, as you know yourself. Igamani coming on, I know we'll probably end up going on to him as we go through the game, but really looked as if he's exactly what we need, somebody that's up for the physical battle and holding it in. He was a positive. Tom Lawrence, positive. Finding out Kieran Dowell still breathing oxygen was a positive, I suppose. I wasn't sure if he was still cutting about or whether he would chucked it. What a lot of folk thought was going to be a tricky fixture, Kurt, to come away with 3 points and a clean sheet. Can't ask for much more, can you?
You can't, Ross, you can't. And I think because we've been seeing the team line up, we started kind of panic, didn't we? Because we're thinking, why is he playing? Why is he not playing? But in the day, we got the 3 points, we move on. But Ricky, what was your thoughts of the game first and foremost before we go through a couple of incidents in the game?
Yeah, no, I thought the first 20, 25 minutes, I thought we were really good, excellent. You know, like Ross says, you could see the patterns of play. It's pretty obvious, Clement, he likes to get the ball up as in the final third as early as we possibly can. And some of our one-touch football was really good. I thought Yefte was very good coming down the left. Lawrence had a really excellent game again in the number 10. I mean, we were all hoping that Benjrami was going to start, but I thought Tom Lawrence was man of the match, and I was really impressed with the way that he played that number 10 position. I thought he was excellent. The defence was good. No shots against us, really. I mean, they did. Butland didn't really have any saves to make. He had one dodgy pass back in the second half, but apart from that, he was very comfortable throughout the game. Second half was sort of like Dundee United came back into it. So I think there's a lot of stuff to come on to work on. I think when he looks at the big picture and watches the game back, if we can get as close to that first half performance for 90 minutes, and I'm sure we will see that the next few months. We've got a lot of exciting players to come back into the team, you know. We've got Cherny to come back, who was ill at the weekend, him on the right, and then you've got Benjrami to come into the number 10 position unless he keeps Lawrence in that position. But suddenly we've got competition there. On the left, Cortez looked okay. You know, he was a bit rusty coming back from injury, but I thought he looked good. And Igamani, oh yes, it's time to fall in love again with another young player from the other side of the world, guys, because he was outstanding when he came on.
Yeah, we'll talk about him in a bit. But Ross, at the start of the game, we started really well, didn't we? We were on the front foot like we were a previous game, but this lasted a bit longer. But Tav got to put a ball in quite early on in the first half, and there's a good ball into the box. But Dessers goes down very easily for me, Ross. And then he's moaning and groaning. When somebody has size, Ross, you think he should be challenging the defender, keeping his eye on the ball and thinking, that's mine. Instead of thinking, oh, I'm going to moan and groan here, moan for a penalty. He goes down too easy for me, Ross, and moans groans too much as well.
the issue I've got, mate, is exactly what I said all last season. And then he scored 5 and 5 at the start of this season. And I came on here quite proudly and said, maybe with a good pre-season, maybe this is going to be the changer. But when you needed him to step up in the Old Firm game, he hit the ball with the combined effort of 2 3-year-olds and Ross McCausland straight in the middle of the goal. That seemed to dent his confidence, and now you're back to the 14, 15 brick shit house boy that every time somebody breathes on him wants to go down, just chucks it. I try to give him the benefit of the doubt, Keir. Now, you've seen me on here and on the Rabble telling people that he was shocking last year. We had to get rid of him. Come the end of last season, I said we should have held on to him maybe as a backup option. But I can't even remember what player it was. Was it one of the Bulls or something when he first came? Said that he'll go from magical to mincemeat, and it's just
I think it was Ronald. I think it was on what it said.
In-game spells, and there you go. For 5 games, he looks unplayable. But then one bad game, and that's him away back to last season's Dessers. The only hope for me is you've now got somebody who is going to give him some serious competition, hopefully, for that focal point of attack in young Gamani. And again, it's too early, sorry, to put all your eggs in that basket. But what I would say is he obviously watches this podcast and appreciates a good moustache. That's all I'm saying on the matter. All right?
He obviously does. But Ricky, no long after that, Dessers was involved in the goal. It was a flick on Lawrence. Lawrence runs through, obviously gets a ricochet back on himself, but he took the goal really well, didn't he? Because if that was Dessers in that position, he smashes it straight to the goalie or he misses the target. But Lawrence, he knows what he was doing. And as soon as he went through, he lifted it over the goalie. He just didn't put over because he knew the keeper was coming out at pace. And it was a well taken goal, wasn't it? And a good finish by Tom Lawrence.
Lawrence is a lovely footballer. He always has been. I mean, everyone that watched him when he was playing in the Championship for Derby, they all said he was a great player. He can play on the left, he can play in the 10, he can play from the right. To be fair, I think since he's came to Rangers, he's never really. I mean, last season, I'm sure he missed pre-season, and then he was like struggling throughout the season when he was in and out of the team. He never looked fit. But this year he's had a full pre-season, and I still, you can't play him every match. You've got to bring him in and out of the team. But his finish was tremendous, and his finish was good against Ross County as well. He should have tucked away the one in the second half when he was clean through. That was a good opportunity for us.
Also had a chance to get Dessers blocked, didn't he?
Yeah, oh man, didn't even speak about Dessers, man. Dessers is just like, I don't think all the donkey strikers we've had over the years, I can't remember a striker that goes from like up here to down here so much. The drop off in Dessers in his form when he's good to bad is just, somebody should use him as an experiment, because it's so, the seesaw is so ridiculous and it's so bad. I think we spoke before the Old Firm game, and okay, the tide could be turning. Well, he was on that surfboard and he's been taken right up by a sniper because he's been useless the last 2 matches. Really, really bad. And this diving around all the time when anyone goes near him and acting like he's injured all the time. I mean, in Scotland, the rest will be picking up on that. And he's going to have, in the next few matches, I can guarantee you, someone will absolutely smash him. Clear penalty, and the ref won't give it because of his antics. I can't remember him being that bad last season with all the diving around and the feigning injury all the time, but he's been really frustrating at the start of that season. For me, I know Egamani's still young and all that, but I would start him against Dundee, and if he has a good game against Dundee, keep him in the team, man. You know, there's none of this nonsense about, oh yeah, you got to be gentle with him. Get him in the team and keep him in the team, because he looks, he's got that raw energy. He holds the ball up fantastic. What a difference of a striker just being able to hold the ball up properly, you know. Even when he came, there was 3 times, and compare that to Dessers, it's chalk and cheese, mate.
Yeah, I mean, Ross, also down the left-hand side yesterday, especially in the first half, I thought Cortez and Yefty linked up well together. They played a lot of one-touch stuff. Both of them are getting crosses in. I thought that looked quite promising going forward, because both of them are only 20-year-old.
So I think the boy Hefty's a belter, by the way. I think he'll be very good. As you say, they are young players, not like the young players we've got that are 36 and get 4 wins and married twice, and we are talking about they're still young because they've came through the youth academy. Two young guys. The boy Cortez, I think, is a good one. I don't know if I would have paid the rumoured 3.5-4 million. I think that was maybe better value, but obviously Clement's studied him a lot more than I have, and he sees a potential in him. On the Twitter, I noticed Joshua Barry, who I always go on about. I like Joshua. I think he's really good with his analysis and that. And he did mention that a couple of times Cortez switched off. But the difference is now you've got Hefty, who's got the pace and the big long legs to get back. Whereas sometimes when Yilmaz is running, he's like road runner, and his wee legs are gone about 500 mile an hour, but he's not really getting anywhere. I think the big boy Hefty's very athletic. And that's what you're looking for, but you're looking for a partnership. You're looking for two players to be able to get to know each other's game and know when one's going to overlap, when they're coming inside, when to sit back. We've not had that. On the right as well, I thought Tavernier and Cherny, when he was playing, looked as if they had that. Cherny would go inside sometimes and let Tav have the wing. So it's about building connections. I'm back and forward like I see someone come on as well, but you can see what he's trying to do, but he just can't get the players to stay fit enough in order to build those wee bits that are missing at the moment.
Do you think he maybe learned a wee bit for that because he only gave Cortez 45, whereas before we've seen him, Cortez going off injured and coming back on, and then 5-10 minutes after coming back on and taking off, and he should probably stayed off. So he's coming back for an injury and he's thinking, well, I need to manage his game time, and that's what he done it. He done it on Sunday. He played the first 45 minutes, he was taking off for Jamie. So that was well done with the manager there, because he could have said to him, I'll give you 60 minutes, but he's learning from what he'd done previously.
I would agree. I think he's obviously very big on his sports science, isn't he? Like, he seems to take everything the medical team say well. He seems to take that on board, and it's modern culture, Kerr. We talk about it all the time. We spoke about it a bit with Cantwell. Younger players are different now, whereas in your day and age, Kerr, because you're a lot older than me, but in your day and age, somebody had a sore ankle, they would bandage it up, whereas now they've got a grade 3 tear of their ligaments, or you don't have a sore knee anymore, you've got a meniscus break or whatever. Everything now's got a label, everything now's like so in depth. You don't just have a sore thing anymore, it's got a name and a label and a recovery time, and even if the players feel himself that he's ready to come back in to listen to that medical side. Is it frustrating for us? 100%. Did I slag Dale Monday all last season for missing the Celtic game with a sore thumb? Yeah, I did. But obviously that's medical advice that you don't pick them. Aye, he's learned. It's a long-winded way of saying, Kerr. I agree with you. He's learned his lesson and he's listening, obviously, to what the medical team are telling him.
Actually, I thought the two of them linked up really well, especially in the first half. But Ricky, Dundee United changed it halfway through the first half, didn't they? Took off Kevin Holt, I think it was. They brought in the boy, kind of Doherty, I think, and because we were on them, they kind of changed shape a wee bit. And it didn't stifle us as much, but it just shows you Jim Goodwin was trying someone else because it wasn't working for them. But down the left side we were good yesterday, but down the right side, it was a surprise that Kieran Dowell started. I mean, a lot of folks kind of said the same, and obviously Tav's been playing great, but I thought Tav done okay yesterday. He's still getting pelters, but I thought he'd done okay. But Kieran Dowell starting, I know the manager says Kearney was ill and Rose McCausland was injured, so I don't know why he was on the bench, but he said he was injured, that's why I didn't want to bring him on. So that's obviously Kieran Dowell started, because if Kearney was fit, he would have. But I thought Kieran Dowell, watching it back, off the ball he was actually okay. In the second half, when they broke on us, when Suter fell, he managed to get a clearance away. He could probably made a tackle, the boys get around him, but double was there. But offensively going forward, apart from the shot he had, I thought he was poor. He didn't really create anything. He wasn't really trying to play the ball forward. I thought he was just, I don't know if he was struggling at times with the pace of the game or if he was just kind of, he didn't know what to do. But I thought on the ball he wasn't great, and we need more from somebody like Kieran Dowell.
Yeah, he seems to be one of the players that's getting a lot of minutes he doesn't deserve, to be honest. And it's it's a big frustration of all us on the podcast that he doesn't give our youth academy players more of an opportunity. But Dowell, I mean, that's a few starts he's had, and it's weird because he had such a great reputation coming from Norwich. They actually rated him more than rated Cantwell as a player and thought that he would give us a lot of energy in that in midfield. And I mean, he scored a good goal last year against Motherwell, but the chances he's had this season, like you said, he's a body on the park, but you don't notice him doing anything. There's no 1-2s, there's no spark at all. For me, he's one of the players for me that would be surplus to requirements, and I would have got rid of him in the summer. I still think in the summer we had a chance to get rid of players that we should have moved on. Like Dessers, I know we're speaking about him in that, but Dessers for me, when that money came in, he should have been moved on. Matondo should have been moved on when Norwich came in. He had one good game before the window closed, and then like Rangers are like, oh no, we'll keep him. There's a player there. And then straight away they go for him and he goes back to the old Matondo, pulls his hamstring. Okay, that's not his fault. Injuries happen, but that's him out for 2 months again, There's still players. I think we've got a lot of great young players in the squad, and I see potential in the squad, but it's frustrating when Clement gives minutes to players that, for me, they just don't deserve it. They don't show enough when they get given the opportunity. And I know that you're James Tavernier's biggest fan, Kerr, but at the weekend, he was for me. We have two massive problems still in our team, and until we solve their problems, nothing's going to change. We'll win matches, we might even beat all the rest, but we'll never beat Celtic. And that's James Tavernier and Cyril Dessers. For me, they two need to be taken out of the team. And people keep going on about Tav and his form's going to come back, but every time I watch him play, he just frustrates the life out of me. Sorry to say that to all the Tav fans, but I didn't think he played well again against Dundee United. Okay, he maybe looked a little bit fitter, but I still see he still gives the ball away far too much for me. And also, you still see him getting skinned by any half-decent winger, and he's lost that yard of pace. And any decent winger's just going to put him on his arse, and it's quite sad to watch, to be honest with you.
There's a lot of full-backs out there, Ricky, who one-on-one defenders are only great, but it's other parts of the game that gets them through the match, and that's what Tav's missing, other parts of his game. But I'm going to go in the Tav debate because we've spoken about Tav until we're blue in the face, and listen, nothing's going to change. If he's fit, he'll play unless Clement thinks otherwise. But just on the referee, Ross, I'm going to go back to, there was a tackle on young Barron. I know me and you spoke about it yesterday, and watching it back, at the time I thought he slid in. I didn't think he slid in with that much force, but when I watched it back, it looked worse again. But I still don't think it was a red, but I do understand if it was a red, if you know what I mean. So I think it's one of the decisions that could have went either way. But are we quick to jump when we see tackles like that, or do you think the way football is going, that's trying to be taken out of the game altogether? I know people say, like, I was watching Sports Scene last night and Michael Stewart said it was a tough challenge, but he's on the ground. Now, being on the ground, I've been high. Doesn't matter. If it's a bad challenge, still be a red. Doesn't matter what height your foot is. But people seem to think if your foot's up here, then it's a red. But if your foot's on the ground, even though it's a bad challenge, it's not a red. So what's your opinion there? I mean, I've watched it a couple of times and I can understand if it was a red, but just me personally, I still think it was a yellow, because if it was a Rangers player making that tackle, I'd want it to be a yellow.
So that's it for me. If a Rangers player makes that tackle and gets sent off for it, their name would have to be Alfredo Morelos or Hefty, because they're getting the fiery South American tag into the now. Everything they do, everything Morelos did, everything Hefty does, he seems to get booked constant. Every time Sterling makes a tackle, booked, refed out the game, can't make a tackle after it. On that particular one, Keir, for me, there's a lot of different things they look at to make up a VAR. So, were the studs shown? Yes. Did he have a straight leg? Yes. Did he lunge into the tackle so he was out of control? Yes. He was right off the ground. What part of the boot? His heel's on the ground, but the part that actually hits Barron, it hits Barron right on the top of his foot towards his ankle. So this is what I'm saying. Like, if it ticks all the other boxes, and as I say, I think it is a yellow, right? I would want a Rangers player to get a yellow for it, but it's another one of the ones where some refs will give that as a red because he's out of control, straight leg, stud shown. But as you say, if he catches him above the foot, then it's a leg breaker. But people have got bones in their feet. Like, we can break our feet as well. Like, I've never understood that. If somebody puts a tackle in that's an absolute shocker, but they don't leave the ground, they don't get a red card because it wasn't high enough. What is the threshold for highness? Because for handballs, where if it hits you on this part beneath the sleeve, you're all right. But if it hits your bare arm, so what are we going to need to start wearing ankle socks so that it's above the sock line so that we can start doing tackles that way? It's a yellow card, but you've seen them given as reds. Is how I would finish at that point, mate. I've definitely seen. You've probably seen lesser tackles being reds, and I looked to the exact same ref last year sending Sterling off for one that wasn't as bad.
I can't remember what game it was in Saturday. No, it was a boy against Hibs that gets sent off. St John's. I think that'd be another cool man. I wanted to, but somebody gets sent off for a challenge that wasn't even like that. His foot was a bit higher, but the opposition's player jumped over it and didn't even connect at all. They get a red card. I'm just trying to think, are they trying to make football a non-contact sport? Because, as you alluded to earlier, I grew up in an age where tackles like that get people off their seats and you were cheering, and then the guy get tackled like that, get back up and played on because they're like, I'll get you back in a minute. But nowadays it's like any kind of tackle, the fans, players are screaming, I want a red card, I want this, and football has changed that much, and it's like I don't know what the rules are. If us went to referee's course, we'd probably struggle because we'd probably think, I never knew that, or I never knew that, and because things have changed that much, and that's why me and you spoke about before looking at the referees thing on YouTube. It's good watching that because I think this might be one of the things they might do in the next episode. Do you think so, Ross?
I think it'll be very interesting to see the next episode. As we said, some handballs will be subjective, but if they're wearing green and white,
the refs are always against them, Ross.
Nah, I'm not having it. By the way, CGM and Smoke Madraw in there giving it metatarsals and the Beckham bones. This is what I'm talking about. This generation, mate, we had a sore fit. They've got broken metatarsals. Do you know what I mean? We're different. We're a different era. I thought. I can't remember what you said, Keir. I've lost my track here because I was scrolling that chat back then.
I've lost my track as well. I'll say to Ricky, see that obviously the referee even was not that tackle, but I mean the referee books, I think I don't know if it was Butland or proper. I think it might actually have been proper, but I'm 100% sure. For more in the books, so you get the same colour of card as
it's wild.
Right? And then Clement get booked because he was more about a high foot. Well, a high foot, you know, but United player's head was Stevenson, the boy Stevenson, I think it was, his head was going down and like that, but
yeah,
so it's kind of 50-50. Then Clement won and he got a yellow card, and then at the end the referee was just giving out yellow cards for the sake of giving a yellow card. And the thing that annoys me now is when you kick the ball away, right? Now, see, if you kick the ball away fucking miles, right, book him. See if you just touch it or hold on to it for too long and then maybe throw it behind you. You're no time wasting, you're just acting the goat, you're just winding somebody up. That's not a yellow for me. And somebody mentioned, I seen on social media somebody saying, do you think actually maybe have to put the points threshold up for bookings because there's going to be so many bookings for basically nothing. You're getting booked for moaning or throwing the ball away, but you're getting the same yellow card for maybe injuring somebody. Do you think they're going to have to look at this? I know they spoke about different cards and sin bins not in the past. Do you think this is going to have to be looked at for a different angle?
Yeah, when they bring out new rules, it's always the same, Kerman. They go, the refs get excited, and this year it's like dissent. Nobody's allowed to speak back to the ref except for the captains, and they're booking everyone, kicking the ball away. You see it in Scotland. You see it. Ben's Ramy got booked at the weekend. There was games in England. There was a game on Saturday where they broke the record for yellow cards. I think it was like 17, 18. The Chelsea game, I think it was like 18 yellow cards, and the refs are just going nuts, man. I mean, like you said, some of the bookings compared to the other, Yefte's booking was an absolute joke, you know. Why the refs have suddenly started picking on him is just like some of his bookings that he said this season has been absolutely wild. I mean, the player's head was down. He was going for the ball. He sort of pulled out, and that's why Clement was going crazy. But no, the refs need to calm down a little bit. But I know this is a Rangers podcast, but that penalty that they got in the weekend was absolutely wild. And that's not even the ref, man. That was VAR that gave that penalty. That wasn't the ref. That was actually someone watching on the screen. And then they've overruled one penalty, which is almost the same distance. Okay, it's another yard out. And then they go and give the exact same thing. Like the guy's 2 yards and blasts it, and the guy's turned his hands. It was never, ever, ever a penalty. So, and Colin was on a show speaking about that exact same thing at the weekend. So his refs have made him look a bit stupid 2 days after he's on radio, and everyone enjoyed that. And you know, it's good that he was on and he was giving it this and giving it that. But your refs have to back you up a couple of days later by putting in good performances. And for me, the standard of refereeing in Scotland is still absolutely atrocious. We've got a few new refs now, so you would hope that it would be. And the pundits don't help ever. You know, the pundits are always. We've got so many pundits in Scotland that are put their colours to the mast. So even when the refs get decisions right, it's so boring listening to these pundits arguing over every single decision, depending on what team they support, you know. But no, the refs need to improve, definitely. We need to see an improvement, and they need to calm down with the yellow cards. At least it's not been red cards, but they need to calm down with the yellow cards for sure.
Yeah, just the last thing on the refs, Ross. I seen, like, before I ask you this other point, that incident in the game yesterday between Parv, I think it was Trapanowski, they were arguing it was handbags. It was nothing bad, but to him get yellow cards for it. Why doesn't the referee just go up and say, right, you two, listen, enough, and I'll book, if you do it again, I'll book these, but enough, just play the game, don't act like a pair of twats, do you know what I mean? Why does it just suddenly go yellow, we even speak? Why do you not just go up and speak to them? I mean, in youth football or junior football, the refs talk to you. It's like Don Robertson doesn't want to talk to you. It's like he just goes straight for the card without even saying anything, and if you go to his face and you're not the captain, he books you, but if you're the captain, he doesn't really say much to anyway, and he tells you to go away. So why is there such a difference in the professional game compared to like junior football or youth football? Because obviously these guys in that level try to get to this stage, but when you look at a Premiership game, it's poor. Some of the referees they are poor on the shot. Obviously, Colin mentioned the guy. I think it was the last game we played, and he was saying that maybe his body, St Johnson in the cup, the referee's body shape was poor, so he may be going to speak to him. Surely he has to speak to Don Robertson about just being no good at what he does, because that referee in this play yesterday was poor, and I'm not saying he got a lot wrong, as in it was controversial. It's just bookings for nothing, just the way he speaks to players, just the way he does stuff on the park. He doesn't have any respect for any of the players, I don't feel, just because it's like, I'm the ref, I've got the power, away you go.
The first thing they want to be talking about to him is that fucking haircut, man. His wing backs are further up the park than Tav Hefty, man. Just get rid of it. Just give in to that. That's done. Mate, it's always been...
Thanks for that.
Thanks, Ben. I've never seen Sons of Anarchy, to be fair. This one I've not watched yet, but I'll need to get tore into it and tell my missus it was me. I think I've never understood, mate, is the ones where one player pushes another, the two of them run away, and the both of them get booked as well. That happens all the time. Mate, I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and I don't care how many shows they put out, and I was on here praising the show. I thought it was good with Willie Collum. I'm explaining the decisions. I'd like them to explain why Hearts playing the ball in, hitting Barron with his hand in here isn't a penalty, but when Celtic do it is a penalty. I'd like to know that. I'd also like to know how he says the one on that we spoke about. If your hand's up there and you're no challenging for the ball, then it's a penalty. So Shankland's got a clear header without a challenge for Scales. Why is Scales' hand up there? It's a penalty, as far as I'm concerned, according to what Wally Collum said last week. Obviously, I've got a bit of a vested interest, having obviously gone to Hearts games and whatnot and seeing. But when MD's playing against them, you've got a vested interest because, let's be honest, you don't want them to succeed. But again, a sticky game where they weren't doing much. Kyogo had a chance. They weren't doing much. And then as soon as VAR get a chance and there's one bit of subjectivity, it gets given their way, and that changes the game. And do you know what, man? They could probably play their reserves this year and have a good chance at winning the league with the state we're in and the state the rest of the teams are in. They don't need it. Like, I don't understand why. I'm going off on a tangent about referees, right? Because it's just so frustrating because you want to... You're on here last week actually saying really good changes. And we did say the first subjective one won't go in Rangers' favour, and it turns out I was right enough. On the handbag thing, as I say, you're not going to tell me anybody else on the park makes a tackle Sterling get booked for yesterday. They don't get booked. Hefty's foot's at waist height. The boys head on down. It's a coming together. Never a booking. Clement says that. He gets booked. Butland comes out because Connor Barron nearly gets his leg broke. He gets booked, but Jim Goodwin's got the ball, walks halfway up the line with it, and then when the referee doesn't give him a thing, bounces it off of the turf and doesn't get booked. So at what point do we say what's going on here? As I say, his show next month will be interesting. I look forward to watching it, and I'll be back to review it with he's here live.
You will as well. Also, Ross, half time, obviously we went at half time 1-up, but we came out in the second half. We started quite brightly, and we done that wee move. I think about 4 or 5 different wee flicks and one touch football, and it came to Diamande and he tried to play the ball through, so maybe just taking a shot. That was actually some really good stuff we played. If it had finished that, I'd have been probably up there as one of the goals of the season because we've done really well to get up the park. That just shows you, Ross, on that Rangers side, because we've been really critical this season. People watching us have told us that, but we know that ourselves. But watching there and seeing the guys doing that, obviously, they're no bad players. They need to see some confidence, but that wee move in itself, you can say to yourself, these guys can do it if they want to, or if they've got the confidence to do that, because you can't do these things if you're a bad player. So, on the move, how good Jink it was, but also, why are we doing this? Why aren't we doing this more? I know that's a hard question to answer because the manager's asking that, but you can see that there's ability there.
There is ability. You don't get to Rangers if you've got no ability, right? You don't get to play at Rangers. They've obviously seen something in all these players. Some of the one-touch stuff we played at the weekend, we flicked in the corner. It led to Lawrence's goal. Desser's good wee flick in the corner. There was a few other wee back heels and Cruyffs and whatever else. The problem for me is it's off our coat and the knickers. It's good in the middle, getting for the halfway line to their box. But see, once we get to their box, it's like your missus coming in on your birthday with the sausages and all that on, and then you go to bed and she's like, I'm sleeping in the sleeping bag down the stair. Like, do you know what I'm talking about? It's like, it's all for show, but see if you're no scoring at the end of it, then what's the use?
We can look at that.
There's an analogy for you here. There's an analogy for you.
I actually just thought it was good playing. You've not seen him for a while. I know you're going about beating Ross County, but we've won other games rather than Ross County over the past few years. But I just thought it was actually good, really good stuff, and I've actually enjoyed watching it because I said to myself, some of these guys can actually do this if they wanted to. I just thought they'd done really well. But anyway, Ricky, going to you, I mean, we've done okay in the second half. You need to come back into it. It was always going to happen. You can't control a game for 90 minutes, no matter who you are. You can't control a game. Other teams are always going to get opportunity. But apart from the deflected shot, it came off a Barron and past the post, and Butland coming out for one of the crosses and kicking it out, and then Barron clears it. The defence actually performed really well. I was actually quite pleased with the way Suter and Popper played. I thought them done really well yesterday. That was probably Popper's best game. And John Suter was coming out with the ball quite a lot and trying to run up the park rate and play the pass through. Popper played a cut of passes. He played the pass through to Egerman when he turned on it. So what do you think the centre backs? I know we were always screaming out for just get two in and get them a partnership, get them confidence. But I think these two could be the clear.
Yeah, no, I like. See, Suter's one of the players that can be quite frustrating because he is a really good defender and he comes out with the ball. When he comes out with the ball really fast at pace and he breaks the lines, I mean, that is difficult to find that in a defender, especially the sort of money you're paying in Scotland. It's just his concentration issues. And I agree with you. I mean, I see things in proper. I think he's going to be all right once he gets settled into the team. And maybe a few of us were screaming to get Balogun in or this new guy, Casa Warjo, or whatever his name is, get him in the defence and see how he does. But I would like to see Suter and Proper given a few games to Givernell to see what they can do to build that partnership with Butland as well, you know. As I said to you, the full-back areas are still a little bit. Jeff's been fantastic. Yilmaz's coming back. I'll give him a bit of competition. The right side, I know we're not going to speak about that, but no, the centre of defence, I was really impressed. Like you said, United came back into it, the change formation to 4-2-3-1 to match up after about 30 minutes, and they did come back into the match, but they never really threatened, you know. I mean, Butland didn't really have any saves to make. It was all pretty powder puff from them. I actually expected a lot more from Dundee United. And what I will say, just to give, I mean, I'm not giving Dundee United, I'm going to give Dundee United a little bit of praise here, and that's for selling out the stadium. It was good to see a full stadium. I thought the Bears were excellent. I mean, that rendition of Ibrox in here at the end was fantastic. And fair play to Dundee United for selling out the stadium. I know I hate Dundee United as much as anyone else, but it's good. It's much better for Scottish football when you see full stadiums. They gave us a good allocation and there was a good atmosphere from both teams. But no, the defence, give them a run in the team, Suter and Proper, and see what they can do for the next, 5, 6, 7, 8 matches. We've got plenty of matches coming up, Kerr, you know, and soon it's going to be 3 pods a week. It's going to be full steam ahead, 3 games this new Europa League, which is going to be very interesting. It's a bit exciting for something new after I think European football went a little bit stale, so it's going to be exciting soon. So there's plenty of games coming up to build their partnerships.
Just on Proper, Ross, and also on Barjami, I mean, CJM says there he's first I've heard it, me saying it, I thought Proper actually played okay, so I thought he was decent. He put a couple of blocks in, he's done the sample stuff very good, and I don't really know what else you want for a centre back. Do you know what I mean? We didn't concede a goal, so what more do you want for a centre back? And on Barjami, I've heard a few podcasts myself on social media saying he's not that great. The boy came on at half time playing out in the left, and he's just in the door, and people were already sussed him out and saying, nah, why did we buy him? 45 minutes, Ross. Is that a bit harsh?
Proper harsh, you could say. Yeah. I've been very open, mate. I think Suter's been one of our standout players this year, to be honest. I don't know if it says much about him because up until the one game, Dessers was also a standout player, so I don't know if that means anything. But Suter and Proper, I think, will be good. What I liked at the weekend was you're seeing, as Ricky rightly says there, you're starting to see more of the old Majid Bugera for Suter and dropping a shoulder and outrunning people. And he's a powerful runner, Kerr. See, when he goes, strikers just kind of get turned, and he's got enough on the big long legs just to open it up past their press and push his own. When he's doing that, but Proper sitting in, and you see Barron right away switching on it. And by the way, I've not spoken about Barron. What a game I thought he had. Just doing all the wee dirty bits, getting in, tackling, winning.
We're going.
But he allows Suter to go forward. But if you've kept a clean sheet, if you've kept a clean sheet and your 2 centre halves have had a decent game, I don't know why we're criticising him. Do I think because we spent $1.5 million on him, he's going to be up scoring for corners and fucking doing tricks with the ball and running up and down the park like a seal? I don't know what we're expecting from him. As you say, they never had much But what they did offer, I thought both our centre-backs dealt with pretty
We
easily.
dealt with a lot of corners, didn't we, Ross? And we done well because Lawrence was on Gallagher at every set piece. And I thought Tom Lawrence did well because the boy Gallagher's decent in there.
Mate, as you say, it's a weird mismatch that. If I'm going to be hypercritical, I want the first time they take that big 40, 45 yard lob throw in into the 6 yard box, I'm hoping for Butland at 6'5" just to come and pick it out the air. Then they don't do that. That kills that whole tactic. But I thought we were quite hesitant, and a couple of skirmishes run about came for that, and that's just me trying my best to nitpick at something to give you a bit of content for the podcast. I thought we dealt well with everything that was put on us. Hello. I thought that was Cole coming there. It's not. It's my waist. I thought we had no qualms about the defence. Tavernier, again, defensively, I thought was half decent. The problem we've got with him now, seeing it, I'm going to go back to him, seeing as you didn't want to talk about him, but I've been waiting on my chance. How many times now does somebody play a pass 3 yards in front of him and it runs out for a shy, whereas 2 seasons ago you're up the park, he's running onto it? That's the difference with him. For me, that's the major difference.
But I just feel we keep another dead ground because until the manager sees it and changes it, we're not going. So
I'm praising him, mate. I thought defensively he was sound. They never get any chances, so how could they not have been defensively sound? Is the way I'm looking at it.
What just about saying people are saying, he doesn't look great for what we spent. 45 minutes and 45-minute debut and just in the door. It's not like he's. Which I'm surprised because usually Cumberland likes to give him a few sessions, doesn't he? But he's gave him 45 minutes just to come in and see the team, and even said himself he's still struggling with some of the names. So I thought he'd done okay. Listen, he didn't do anything great, but he didn't do anything bad either. I thought he'd done okay.
I did give you the exclusive live for the dressing room at half time that they had to go in and wear their shirts back to front so he could get to know their names and faces. That was a live Sky Sports report voice note in the group chat. I thought that he's tidy on the ball, isn't he? But he's not a winger, so he's not going to take the ball at Cortez and take a man on. He's looking for passes, he's looking for wee through balls and whatever else. But you're getting put on for your debut on at left wing, a position he did say he can play, but if you're not wanting to play him because he doesn't know his teammates, you don't play him at a position as well. But I thought he looked tidy, mate. It looks as if he's got an eye for a pass, which I thought was good. Wait a pass.
Yeah.
Yep, Ricky.
They come in. I loved when he got the ball and he did a 1-2 and then a 1-2 again, and then he passed it to Dessers and it bounced off Dessers and went like 20 yards behind Dessers. I was like, welcome to your, there's your new number 9. That is, he definitely knows his name, that's for sure, man. 20 yards.
I think a lot of people think when you play left, on the left, some people seem automatically to think it's the way football is nowadays, you're a winger. But because you play left midfield doesn't mean you're a winger. Do you know what I mean? You can come inside. So I like what I've seen about him. Maybe Sunday wasn't the greatest as in a Rangers jersey, but what I've seen with his country and what else I've seen him, I think he looks a good player. I think time will tell what all the players we buy, but I think it's very harsh to judge him in 45 minutes. But I'll just come back to both of your favourite player, Dessers. I forgot about speaking about that chance at half time. Now, this is a guy who scored a few goals this season. He'd a bit of confidence at the start of the season. But how poor was that, taking 2 touches before he even decided on a shot? And he made the angle a lot worse for himself before he did shoot. I mean, when the ball first came to him, if he had shot then, he'd more of a space and goal aim for. And Walton might have struggled, but Walton now didn't go that much. Dessers didn't have a lot of space, so he was always going to probably miss. And
it was like the Ross County game, he had the same sort of chance, okay, a bit more space. It was like left centre of the goal, but he just whacked it straight away with power and it went straight in the net. As soon as he takes that second touch, takes him away from the goal, the angle's completely lost. He tried to put it through the goalkeeper's legs, and it was a good goalkeeper, but his touch again, I mean, this is the problem. This is the massive problem we've got with him as our main number 9. You cannot rely on a player that it's 3 bad games, 5 amazing games, 2 bad games. You know, we need a number 9 that's consistent, that can hold the ball up. He doesn't have to score every game. Morelos never scored every game, but what Morelos gave you when he was at his best was he was a focal point from the team, and the team played off him. And that's what you saw when Igamani came on. He was a focal point for the team. The difference when he went up front with just his chest control and holding the ball up and bringing other players in. And Dessers does have a good touch. You've seen him. He's very good at playing through balls and stuff like that. But when he's bad, when Dessers is bad, he's a very, very difficult watch. But I thought Igamani was really, really good when he came on. And I agree with young Barron. I thought Barron was excellent again in the middle of the park. I still think I would like to see Barron with Raskin. I would like they two. I would like the front 4 to be Cherny with Benjrami and Cortez with Igamani up front, with Raskin and Barron behind they two, just to hold everything, try and get a bit of control in the middle of the park. And I know that's harsh on Diamande, but Diamande is a great player that just seems to be lost in our system. This 4-2-3-1 just does not suit Diamande whatsoever. Like he just seems to be. He's a great player. He was good when he came in, but every game watching him, it's the same sort of thing. It's one match and then it's on to the next match, and he doesn't really get involved. He's not really involved in the play. You see the difference with Barron. Barron's standing out straight away. Players like that, and just touch on that, Benjrami. How can you judge a player after 45 minutes coming on as sub off an international break? Man, he should have got a 9 out of 10 just for his black boots. Give the guy a break, man. The guy's going to be fine. Give him a break. Wait till you see him in the number 10.
I have to say, Ross, before I come to you about Igaman, I'm not going to call it Igamani, but for some reason it's pronounced Igaman, so I've been told. I don't know, but say what you like. I don't really care. On Diomande, I thought he actually done all right yesterday. A lot of his play off the ball was really good. He was getting into space that was stopping United playing into, so they had to move the ball the other side of the park. He won the ball back a few times, won it back. The one at Dessers' chance and Dessers missed. He was involved in quite a lot of stuff defensively. I thought he was good as well. But I know Ricky's meaning like to see him more on the ball and getting stuff done offensively, but I thought where he was playing yesterday, he done really well. Obviously, Barron's always made himself available to receive a pass. Doesn't matter where he is in the park, when Barron makes himself available. Even it doesn't matter what position he is in, we'll take it in a tight space, we'll take it for the centre backs. We're going to the middle of the park, play the ball. Like you said earlier, or some of the moves, he'll slow in their pace. Conor Barron's sorted into Rangers like he was made for that position. He's been really, really good since he's come in the door. But I just think Diamande's playing well, but I think the way Barron's playing, he's overshadowed him because Conor Barron's been probably our best player every match basically since he's came through the door. That's how well he's played. But I'm just going to, what do you think about Igaman since coming in? I know as Rangers fans, we seem to have done it with so many players in the past few years. Or somebody comes in and plays well a couple of games, we're like, yes, we found a hero, we found our next Messiah, and then it kind of goes sideways. So I don't want to praise a guy too much, but you can see there's something about him. I like what he's got. He's strong, he can play well, he brings the ball down really well. But when he brings the ball down, he doesn't just want to shoot, as in I have to shoot. His head's up, he's looking about to see where to go, and the ball he played through to Lawrence was superb. So what I've seen so far I really like. So what's your opinions on him?
It's hard to tell, innit? But what I would say is the Old Firm game he came on at 2-3-0 down at that point. And as you say, the ball came, it stuck to him. He juked past 2 players and played a pass. And that was the most hold-up we'd had the full game. At the weekend, 2 dodgy balls, a defender backing into a defender, Morelos-esque if you would like, backing into the defender and happy just to let the ball hit him in the chest and drop at his feet, and then he'll go and play, cut back inside again. Looks like he's got quick feet, looks decent. And then, as you say, perfect way to pass for Tom Lawrence. but unfortunately for us, it was after the 23rd minute, so Tom Lawrence was blowing out his Archie by that
The
time.
rest came down. You can see the shot. It was a last gasp effort.
But I get what you're saying, mate. And the perfect example of that is the guy you've just spoke about, Diamandi. Came in, everybody, Diamandi is a diamond. We're going to make X amount of money after this guy. Mate, I think he's flattered to deceive very much his time at Rangers. I try my best. I try my best to see what other people are seeing in him. For me, he's Borna Barisic, but in the middle of the park. Everything he gets, he wants to take a touch and turn back with it. Everything. I think he invites a press onto you, but I don't think he's quick enough or forward thinking enough to break that press. All that happens is he pushes the press back to the next person, usually Barron, who's behind him, in case he loses it or mops up. As I've said, I don't think he's ever got the ball under control either. He doesn't want to just get the ball and take a touch and kill it. He wants to let the ball run through him. He's quite Glenn Kamara-like in that, but without the strength. Kamara had a bit of strength and put his body between the ball and the man. For me, a lot of the time, Diamandi lets the ball run through him, but then lets it go too far. That's what I talk about when I say it's always right on the edge of where he's got it under control. He's no for me for £4.5 million care, I've got to say, for what I've seen. No for £4.5 million. £4.5 million, I think we could have spent that money better, wiser. Can I give a shout out to Curry Muncher, by the way? I seen a bit of his live for the game over at the stands of Ibrox.
I know, I was on it as well. I was watching it for a bit.
Me and you were chatting away, bringing the average age up by about 30 years. Just stiff. And I tried these Tesco sugar-free Coke he was talking about. Tastes like piss water. I'm back on the real stuff. But apart from that, well done to him. Well done to him for going live. And I think it's always good for Rangers podcast to support each other. So make sure you check that out the next time he's live. If for nothing else, his banter's pretty good. He's not much to look at, but his banter's decent.
Oh, well, that's poor, Ross. That's poor. You can't help it. It's like maybe there's a hack, just like much here. But no, Ricky, Ross obviously just spoke about Diamandi, but it's also good to see Raskin back. I know he's got his critics as well, and a lot of people think he's not showed much to come through the door. Probably another one that Ross says, and I said about Diamandi, no pinned their hopes on him and Campbell when he wins away, but Raskin's still here. And as Nico find these levels again, we've seen before. Because I like Nico Rasta. I think he just needs a run of games and stay away from injury. I think he can offer something slightly different to what Diamandi does.
I think he'll be a good foil for Barron because they're very similar. And Raskin came with a very, very, same as Diamandi, he came with a very high reputation. You know, he was very highly rated. And Coman obviously knows him. Coman's probably known him from when he was a kid back in Belgium. So hopefully get him fit, you know. The problem is, again, he needs to stay fit. He needs to maybe just get him in the team, you know, that little bit of gentleness. Give him 45 minutes against Dundee on Saturday night. See how he does next to Barron. And then take things from there. But if we can keep him fit, I think he's the player. Did you see we tried to sign that guy from Ajax today? And we got rejected. Quackson, is it Quackson? Did you see that? He went back to Ajax. He rejected us in Royal Antwerp today. So it shows that for sure, Coman, he definitely wanted one more in the midfield, you know. So he definitely feels that we're that one short in midfield. So hopefully Raskin can come back, stay fit, get a run in the team, and build up a partnership with Barron, with Benjrami and Lawrence competing ahead of them, you know. Then suddenly you can hopefully start to see a bit of stability. We need stability all over the pitch. You know, we need stability in defence, need stability in midfield, and we need to start building partnerships. And we've got plenty of games coming up to do that. So hopefully Raskin can start performing the way that he should be.
I know, and I will have to say that yesterday I thought Tom Lawrence was man of the match for me. I thought he was superb. We've given him a lot of criticism on here. And some of it is right, but you know yourself, we've never said Tom's not a good football player. He is. It's just sometimes his legs aren't the same as they were a few years ago, and box to box isn't really his game anymore. But I thought he took his chance well. He was unlucky on a couple of times. Like I said earlier, I thought he Mark the boy Gallagher at set pieces really well because I said it was a mismatch. But I have to say I was actually quite happy performance. I'm not saying he should play every game as a 10, but I thought what you've seen there, he can offer us something still because he is technically a very good player. He's clever in the head. It's just sometimes his legs don't work with his brain. But we're just going to encourage there. I mentioned the chairman. We're going to obviously we know John Bennett's left due to health reasons, and I hope everything turns out well and he gets back to full fitness and the full health, and him and his family take time away. But Dave King spoke the elephant in the room now. There's a lot of people on social media want Dave King back. A lot of people don't want Dave King back. But Dave King says that he thinks he might be the best person for 2 years. Now, he's not going to put any money into the club, but he thinks he can turn that about and then get investors to come in. To me, he's got shares to sell. So he wants the best price for his shares. But do you think it's a good step? Because I don't think he'll come back. I think it's still a opposition in the both, especially the parts. Them and King don't see eye to eye. They don't like each other. But do you think King, would you take him back? Or do you think it's just King wording this? Because obviously John Gillen's there and he's good mates with Dave King and he sees an opportunity to come back in? Or do you think it's just Dave King running his mouth again and we'll like to see him back in? Because to be honest with you, Ross and Ricky, the last couple of years, this board have been running the club, but they've been running it well. But Dave King made a lot of mistakes as well, as all chairmen do, but we'd like to see him come back in.
I think when you're looking at the Dave King scenario, it's above our level. We don't know the ins and outs. From a fan perspective, the manager, the chairman who took a gamble on Steven Gerrard and how that worked out for us, who, as you say, he's not going to come in and half-arse it because he wants 2 years to build the club back up and then get rid of his shares. He wants out.
Aye.
So if you've got millions of pounds riding on it and you back yourself, then he obviously is confident because if he comes in and makes an arse out of his share, he's not going to get rid of them, is he? Somebody that I think's got the best intentions for the club, somebody who's got a bit about him, whether it be internal, which you possibly wouldn't want him running to the press about all the time, every time he makes a statement, he's got to have a dig at somebody within the club. But at the same time, somebody who's got a bit about them that maybe wouldn't sit back and allow some of the stuff that's happened against the club, whether it be dodgy VAR calls, whether it be dodgy refs, whether it be getting blamed for the Old Firm games at the first derbies of the season when it turns out it's the other club that have not got planning permission for their safety nets. All that sort of stuff, I think he speaks out about. We are, as a club, as a fan base, are too soft for me. We don't call out referees, we don't call out the media, we don't call out anything really. The dignified silence for me has went on far too long, and he might just be the guy to come back and change that, and change it for the rest.
That's like, you still hear people saying it. Back when I was younger, it didn't work that way. People were quite vocal and things were kind of different society-wise, but you hear a lot of people saying that's not the Rangers way. But sometimes you have to change the way you look at stuff. And I think you're right. I think we are dead quiet and we sit back and we expect things to change. We don't make things change. To me, I'm 50-50 in Dave King. He's done a lot of good, but he's also got us into a lot of deals and that power struggle with Sports Direct that costs us hell of money. So I think he's done good things, he's done bad things. I still don't think he'll come back. I think there's too much people still on the board that don't want him there, even though they might not be pushing the club in the right way. What's your thoughts, Ricky?
I saw it's already been vetoed. Chris Jack tonight had he obviously speaks to Dave King, and obviously Dave King always goes running to him with the story anytime he wants to get anything in the media. And it seems like the board have already rejected it and said that what he said yesterday was a lot of nonsense about the fatigue with investment and stuff like that. But for the fans, what we're seeing, it looks like there is fatigue with investment. But saying that, we don't want them just putting. You can't have investors just keep putting money into the club all the time. The club should have been self-sufficient, in my opinion, by now. But some of the crazy wages we've been handing out for the last 3-4 years has been absolutely bonkers. So somebody did need to take it and reduce the wage bill because it was out of control. I can't see Dave King coming back. I think it'll be. But with saying that, we need to hear from the people that are at the club now, John Gilligan. We need to hear what the plan is, because it's pretty clear that every fear that the fans have had, and Souness has been loud, McCoist has been loud. They must be getting more information than us, and it's pretty clear that behind the scenes is not good if you look under the bonnet. So everything that's been coming out in Talk Sport and all that, it's definitely coming to fruition now. So we need a clear plan about how they're going to fix it. I mean, we've got no CEO, we've got no head of academy, we've got no director of football. I mean, Clement is trying to do everything now himself. You know, it's like John Gilligan's in there now, but it's as a club. I mean, you see Celtic's results today. They've got 77 million in the bank. They're absolutely cash rich and stuff like that. We are so far behind them. Dave King, how's he going to fix it? What he said again with his interview today, how's he going to fix it in 2 years if he's not going to invest any money? Has he got a magic wand? Because I think a lot of the stuff he says a lot of the time doesn't actually make sense. You know, so I don't think it's going to happen, mate, but we need something to happen. So it's definitely going to be an interesting 2 weeks.
I think it is, and I agree with you. We need some money, but we can't keep. I mean, John Bennett's invested a lot of the parts. We can't say they haven't. And they just no walk about with getting their money back, for sure. But I think the best way to go is to get a CEO. I mean, I don't know who's out there, but obviously you can hire consultancy companies. They can look for the best person you can need. And there's obviously folk there that's worked with football clubs in other countries and other leagues, so there must be somebody else out there in a football club, and basically that's what we need. But anyway, that's us for the night. That's us over an hour, and Davey will be sitting somewhere in Lanzarote watching half cut thinking, even over an hour. He hates going over an hour. That's his pet peeve. He starts to panic in case it turns into a pumpkin. But anyway,
he'll not be worried. He'll be sitting watching some Sticky Vicky-esque tribute act somewhere. Don't let him kid you.
I hope you're enjoying your holiday, Davey boy.
Sticky Vicky, yes. Anyway, Ricky, thanks for coming on, Ross. Thanks for coming on, and thanks to everybody who's watching tonight, and also thanks to Ben for the £2 donation. That'll go in the funds for Ross when he get Ross a new haircut, or maybe eat the curry, whatever. We'll see what happens.
That'll probably get Curry about 58,000 bottles of that shite Coke he drinks.
Anyway, that's us for right. Thanks everybody. Bye now.